once. You're the only.
Oh.
You can come on anytime you want, as long as you show me Dove Dove.
Aw, we will
Yeah,
always show you Dove
we
Dove.
love Dove Dove. Hey everyone, and welcome to Chef AJ and Friends. I'm your host, Chef AJ, and my friend today is my friend, and her name is Lissa from Raw Food Romance, and she is currently running a wonderful ultimate raw food bundle for the next just few days. I think Mother's Day, the 11th at about 11:59 p.m. Pacific time is when it expires, and it's the only way you can get this recipe for authentic raw vegan licorice, SOS free, no sugar, no oil, no salt. And it is got no gluten also, because most licorice does have wheat and gluten and sugar, and it's authentic and it's really, really yummy. So if you want this recipe, get the bundle. And today she's going to be making something else that I can't pronounce that I think is in the bundle. Take it away, Lissa.
Oh, I love you so much, Chef AJ. You're awesome. And I still have some left too of that black licorice. I highly encourage anyone watching, if you like black licorice, get the bundle because the recipe is in Make It Raw 4, which we wrote together. So
Your
yeah,
licorice comes out darker than mine. What the heck am I doing? I have to watch you
I'm
make
not
it.
sure. I'm not sure why. I don't know, maybe one of the ingredients that I use is a little
Oh,
darker,
You, you,
possibly.
you know what I did this time, just because I was just curious? I put a teaspoon of vanilla powder in, pure vanilla bean powder, because I thought it would mellow it a little bit, and it's just as good. It's not that it's better, but I just wanted to tell you I did that this time.
Ah, that sounds like
Just,
a cool option. I
yeah,
might try
just
that next time.
just to see. So what are you making today?
Okay, so today we are making a recipe from my brand new sushi ebook. And so this sushi ebook is not just sushis. I wanted to kind of showcase a wide variety of Japanese cuisine. There is a lot of sushi in there. There's a lot of sauces and ferments and spreads and sprinkles and drizzles and all kinds of stuff. There's some salads as well. But I wanted to include some classics like this one. It's a Japanese savory pancake, and it's called okonomiyaki. So these are pancakes made with napa cabbage, carrot, mushroom, and green onion. Sometimes they add other things too. And then a creamy, usually it's an egg kind of a thing to make it stick together. But we're going to be using flax to make a flax egg. You could use chia as well if you wanted to. And we're going to use some sprouted chickpeas as well. So we're going to make that in the blender. We're going to have our veggies, and then we're going to form them into the patties for the dehydrator, because they need to be in the dehydrator for 6 hours, 3 hours one side, and then you flip it, and then 3 hours the next side. But we have some already ready to go. So we're going to plate those up after we make it so you can see what they look like when they're done. So we're going to start just with the vegetables that we're going to mix. So we've got about 2 cups of shredded napa cabbage, which I already had shredded from yesterday because, like I said, we made some yesterday so we could show them on the show. So I had extra done there. And now we can grate a carrot. I like to grate right into the bowl. This is the easiest way that I know to do it. You could do them in a food processor as well. Totally up to you. So I'm going to grate those right now with a hand grater. And this is such a fun recipe if you're looking for something more savory. And there are 2 sauces that go with this that I have already made ready for the show, but both sauces are available inside the sushi ebook. One is the okonomiyaki sauce, which is kind of like a ketchup, sort of. It's got a really unique flavor. And then the Kewpie mayo, which is a classic okonomiyaki pancake drizzle. So we're going to use both, but both of those recipes are in the bundle as well in the sushi ebook. And I highly encourage everyone to go grab the bundle because it's over in 3 days. Like you said, it's over on Mother's Day. You have until then to buy the bundle, and then you have until June 30th to download the content. So make sure that you download it right away. Next up, we have some green onion. So I'm going to just chop this green onion really fast. And you're going to see how fast it is to make these. They're really easy to make. and they're so delicious. You could pair them with sushi. You could make another side salad if you wanted to. They make a great side, and you get 4 pancakes out of this recipe. So you could share it with 4 people, or each person gets 2, or you can have them the next day. They last about 3 or 4 days after you make them. So they're pretty good that way too.
How do you figure out all these recipes?
Oh man, sometimes I surprise myself. I'm like, wow, I didn't expect to have 160 recipes in that ebook, but I just kept coming up with ideas, and I wanted to do different colors of sushi. And I wanted to play around with some fun things. So I look online, I explore the cuisine, and I see how can I make it raw. So that's how I do that. I'm going to do the mushrooms. So what I like to do is cut them in half. And then I'm able to, Nate's going to bring you in close. Come along close. So we've got the mushroom. What I like to do is cut the mushroom in half this way. And then I lay it flat. And I actually prefer to use like a paring knife for this one. It's a lot easier to do. But then I just cut into cubes like this, about maybe 1/4 inch, give or take, roughly. Ah, it broke apart. It usually doesn't do that, but and I'll just use the bigger knife for this one. And then I just dice it. So they're kind of like, small chunks, but not too tiny. You don't want to mince it, but you could if you wanted them smaller pieces, but that's probably good. And then we would just put that in the bowl with all of our other veggies. So again, just 4 ingredients for the pancake, for the veggie part. And then we've got the other ingredients for the actual sauce that's going to kind of hold it all together. Just chop that up into pieces. And actually, before we chop the final mushroom, let's get our flax egg soaking. So for a flax egg, it's about 6 tablespoons, the way that I do it. I'm sure there's other ways, but there's about 6 tablespoons of water to 2 tablespoons of flax. So I have some ground flax here that we've ground, and we've got 6 tablespoons of water in this bowl. So I'm just going to put 2 tablespoons of flax in this bowl, and then I'll mix it up. Woo! And then we'll let it sit while we prepare the rest of the ingredients. And this will go into the blender along with the other ingredients. It'll gel up, so it's kind of like an egg. And this is going to be a binder. And again, you could totally use chia if you wanted for this one. But flax works really well too. Plus it's high in omega-3 essential fats. So that's kind of nice as well. And so for 4 pancakes, you're only getting like maybe 1.5 teaspoons per pancake worth of flax. So and we're going to do this final mushroom here. Just cut that up like so. Super easy to make these and very fun, especially if you're looking for something unique to have. It's definitely different, definitely a different way to prepare it. Okay, so we have all the veggies here in our bowl. You can kind of mix them loosely, just like so. We're going to get our hands dirty with this. It's going to be fun. But first, just mix it up slightly. And then we can work on the creamy sauce part. So we're going to start with 1/4 cup of, and you might want to use a tamper for this one, because you might need to push it down. You could add more water, but then they're going to take a little longer to dehydrate and they might be too watery. So we're going to start with 1/4 cup of soaked cashews. So we have 1/4 cup of soaked cashews right here that have been soaking for about 4 hours, roughly. Then we have a zucchini. So the reason we're putting a zucchini in is to cut the fat. So we're not eating extra fat, because you could make this with just cashews, but then it would be a little higher fat, and we want to have it lower fat. So we're putting this whole zucchini in to cut the fat. So it's still going to be creamy and delicious. And we need that bulk so that we can mix it with all of the vegetables. So we're going to peel that. just like so. And then cut off the ends. Now, when I am making this, something that is really helpful is to cut the zucchini into smaller pieces to help the blender out. Because sometimes if you put too big of chunks, they don't get into the blades all the time, even if you use high speed, especially if you have a smaller amount in there. So I just like to take a little extra time and chop it up into smaller cubes or smaller pieces so that the blender has a little easier time blending everything in there. So just chop it up just like so. And then we can put all of this into the blender, just like so. And then after this, we will have our sprouted chickpeas. So these chickpeas, we sprouted already, and it takes about 48 hours for them to soak. And then after the 48 hours, you do 24 hours of rinsing and draining. So you rinse and drain 3 times a day after they've soaked for 24 hours. So it takes 3 days to make them, but we like to do like 3 pounds at a time. So we don't have to do it every single time we want sprouted chickpeas. Like you can be like, you're like, oh, I want sprouted chickpeas. Oh, it's going to be 3 days before I have some. So what we do is we do 3 pounds at a time. We'll do 3 half gallons. We'll put 1 pound in each one. We soak all 3 for 48 hours. And then we sprout each one for 24 hours after that. Then we have so many chickpeas. We just put them, we measure them out 1 cup or 2 cups into little containers, and we put them in the freezer. So whenever we want sprouted chickpeas, we just go in the freezer, choose the size that we want. Either it's 1 cup or 2 cups, and then we just thaw them under a little bit of warm water. And we've got sprouted chickpeas that are al dente, kind of not cooked texture, but they're super delicious. Oh, okay, Nate's saying you should break one open here. Let's just, whoops. Here's one. Here's one with a sprout coming out of it. You can see.
With the fork and mash it.
Here is this is what it looks like. So it mashes quite nicely. It's still a little like harder.
You could ostensibly make hummus.
You can, for sure. You can definitely make, and we have some. Nate actually, speaking of, Nate has hummus recipes in his new ebook that's in the bundle. He contributed an ebook called Crack, Spread, Repeat. And remember those crackers that you enjoyed that we brought for the potluck? You really liked those little crackers? That recipe's in there. That recipe's in there. There's also the pizza version too. So yes, Nate's ebook is in the bundle. So go grab it. You only have 3 days left after today to get it. Ends on Mother's Day. So we're going to add about half a cup of chickpeas to our blend here. And then we're going to add our flax egg. So it's quite jelly-like. You could let it sit a little longer. Totally up to you. It will get more jelly if you let it sit. So maybe we'll let it sit just for a second longer while we get the rest of the ingredients in there. So we got a tablespoon of miso paste. So you can add a tablespoon in there. You could add less if you want less. You could add more if you want more. Totally up to you. We like a little extra miso, so we'll put a little extra miso in there. Then we have a half teaspoon of namak. Now you can leave this out if you want. But the reason why we use namak is because these pancakes are an egg pancake. So traditionally, they would use eggs to make this. So to give it that eggy flavor, we're going to use a half teaspoon of namak, which is black salt. And it's got that sulfur smell to it. So it does smell like cooked eggs in there. And the sulfur is really good for skin, hair, nails, that kind of thing. Then we have a tablespoon of nutritional yeast. And again, this is an optional ingredient. If you want it to be a little more cheesy, you can definitely add. We like to add a little heaping tablespoon there. And finally, a chunk of ginger. So we've got some ginger here. You can put about 10 grams worth of ginger or more. If you really like ginger, you could put more in here. If you don't like it as much, then just put less. So it's nice when you are working with plants flavors. You can add as little or as much as you want, depending on your tastes. So there we go. The recipe also calls for 2 teaspoons of psyllium husk powder, but we're going to add this after. We're not going to add it to the blender. So here I have our flax egg ready to go. So we're going to put that into the blender here. We're just going to pour that in, our little flax egg. Then we can start to blend this up into a really thick, creamy paste. And this is why you might need a tamper so that you can push it down into the blades. So let's blend this up a little bit.
What do you guys think? Anybody get bundle? Anybody try the licorice? I would love to hear from you. If you have any questions, put them in the chat.
All right.
Yes, Lissa has an Instagram page. It's called Raw Food Romance. Everything is in the show notes, but when you watch on Instagram, you can't see the show notes. They're under the YouTube video.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Raw Food Romance. Nate, could you tilt it a little bit higher? Just a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Nate's the camera guy today. So we are going to take the blend here that we have, and we're going to pour it into our mixed vegetables so that we can start to form our pancakes. So here we have all of that, and it smells like a creamy egg mixture. Here we go. Just get all of that out there. And then comes the fun part with clean hands. I'm going to give my hands a nice quick rinse, and then I'm going to get into this. So just let me here. I'm just going to wash my hands really quickly because that's important to make sure you have clean hands when you are working this way. So clean hands, then you can get into it. You can have fun. But first, before we do that, we need 2 teaspoons of the psyllium husk powder, or not the powder, sorry. It has to be the flakes. The powder is too thick, so we have 1 teaspoon here. And what you're going to do is just sprinkle it on everything. And then when you mix it in, it'll just start to absorb some of the extra water, and it'll keep it a little bit more fluffy. So 2 teaspoons, you just sprinkle on. And then you get into mixing it. So I'm just going to put this tray, this dehydrator tray here on the counter so it's ready to go, because I'm going to need that. And I don't want to touch it with my messy hands because I'm going to get messy. So here we go. Let's dig in here and just mix this all up together. And yeah, Nate mentioned that this is a nice way of putting your love into it. Use your hands and just put that love energy into it. You are being in contact with your food, this food that's going to nourish you. I like to squish and squeeze. You know, we're all kids at heart, so you have fun with it, you know? It's meant to be fun. So get squishy with it. And then once you have that all mixed together, you're going to portion this out into 4 pancakes, or 4 mounds, I should say, on your dehydrator sheet. So we have here a Paraflex sheet on top of a mesh sheet, so that
is a Paraflex like a Teflex?
Yes, yes. I think it's just like an off-brand. The Teflex, I think, is Excalibur's brand, but I'm not sure. But they are pretty much the same thing. So, and yeah, because we're using lower temperatures, it's not something to be concerned about. So here we go. It's messy again, but you know what? It's fun. So you just want to kind of separate into 4 as equal as possible mounds. Let's get some more on this one, and the rest we can get on this last one right here. Get all of that goodness onto the tray. And then from here, we can form our patties. And so this is where it takes a little bit of creativity and patience, but just keep forming the patty until it's roughly, give or take, about 6 to 7 inches round. Just keep playing with it and forming the patties, and they should be roughly about a 1/2 inch thick. So if you can make it about 6 or 6.5 or 7 inches round, then it should be about 1/2 inch thick.
It looks good even before it's dehydrated, kind of like a coleslaw.
Yeah, totally. I haven't actually eaten it like this, but it would probably be really good. So here we go. Just do a second one right here. And now normally these pancakes are made in like a pan. They're cooked. So we are obviously dehydrating it. So these are going to go in the dehydrator at 115 degrees Fahrenheit for 3 hours, at which point you can flip them. You'll be able to flip them onto a mesh tray and then put them back in the dehydrator for another 3 hours. So if you were going to have these for dinner and you were eating dinner at 6 o'clock, I would start these at around 11:30 in the afternoon and put them in around noon. Then at 3 o'clock, you flip them, and then they're ready for dinner at 6. So that's how I would plan that. And just get that going like that. So as you can see, it's pretty quick to make these. And you have, again, 4 of them. This would make like a nice side dish for 4 different meals. If you're making them for yourself, you could have one a day for 4 days, or you could share with your partner or your kids or what have you. Everyone gets one, or you each get 2, which is what Nate and I are probably going to end up eating because they are so good. It's hard to eat just one. So there we go. So we've got all of these ready. And now they're, like I said, they're going to go in the dehydrator for about 3 hours. And then we'll flip them at the 3-hour mark. But we have some that are already finished. I'll get Nate to go grab those and put these in the dehydrator for us. So I just washed my hands. And again, as you can see, they've been so easy to make. So that's basically all you do. And then again, you put them in the dehydrator and let them sit in the dehydrator for 3 hours, flip them, and then 3 more hours. So it's pretty easy. Nate's going to bring the ready ones over and we're going to plate them up to enjoy. All right, so here they are finished. These have been dried. As you can see, they are kind of like crispy-ish a little bit. They're still pliable. And the mushrooms have gotten darker, and that's normal. So don't worry if it looks strange, but the mushrooms do get darker while dehydrating. So we're going to put one on each plate here, just like so. Dove really wants to come say hi. I think we might have to show her after we get this ready. Okay, so then we have some kimchi. So there is a spicy mustard kimchi recipe in the sushi ebook that you can make, and we're going to put some of this on top. But first, we want to put the sauces. So again, as mentioned earlier, we have the okonomiyaki sauce. This is like a tomato-based kind of a sauce. It's a sweet tomato, kind of like a ketchup, but not really. Then we have the Kewpie mayo, and both of these recipes are in the sushi ebook, and they go with the okonomiyaki pancakes. Obviously, you could have these on sushi as well if you wanted to, but they are meant for the pancakes. So we start with the Kewpie mayo, and this is how they like to do it. They like to put a lot of lines of the sauce, like so. That's usually how it's decorated. And then they take the tomato one and they go again, just like so. Woohoo! These are some of our favorites from the new sushi ebook.
It looks amazing.
Oh, I wish I could make you some right now. And then you could put sushi ginger, or we are obviously doing the kimchi, but you could put sushi ginger in the center. That's a nice option. But we had this kimchi and we really wanted to use it. So we've got that going on here. And again, if you want to make your own kimchi, there is a spicy mustard kimchi and more mild napa cabbage kimchi. Both recipes are in the new sushi ebook. And then we have this topping here. This is a bonus topping that we made. The recipe is also in the ebook. There's a lot of different ones. There's like a furikake, there's a spicy furikake, there's a tenkatsu, and this is the gomasio. So it's like a nutritional yeast. There's miso powder and some nutritional yeast. So you can play around with different ones, whichever resonates most with you. But we're going to put this on our pancake here, just for a little extra bonus flavor. And I love the look of some sesame seeds on the pancakes. So we're gonna put that around just like so. Yes.
I mean, you didn't even go to culinary school. How are you so talented? I got
Well,
to, oh, go ahead.
yeah, you know what's interesting about that? My grandmother, she would win awards for recipes. So she would create recipes and enter a lot of contests. And in the 60s, she won so many awards for her recipes. Obviously, they weren't vegan or raw or anything, but she was very creative with her recipes. And in the 70s, my mom and my grandmother had a local TV show where they did recipes. And I do remember watching one. I don't know where the tape is at all, and I don't know how to find it, but I did watch one where I was 1 year old. So it would have been like 1981 or so. I'm sitting in like the baby carriage case on the counter while they did their recipe show. So that was, I had come from a line of recipe creators. So I think that plays a role, but thank you, Chef AJ.
Oh, it's in your blood. Okay, we have some
Yeah.
questions.
Okay.
Are the beans soaked, and is it truly safe to eat beans that aren't cooked?
Yes. So what I recommend is to use some sprouting seeds that are meant for sprouting. So there is a company called the Sprouting Company, and they sell sproutable chickpeas, lentils, and other seeds like broccoli and stuff like that. And if it says sproutable on the label, that means that those seeds have been tested for pathogens. So they are safe to sprout at home. And again, what you do is you just take the jar, you fill it with, I usually do like a half-gallon jar, the really big ones, and I put 1 pound, which is, I don't know, maybe like 2 cups or so, maybe a little more, worth of the dried chickpeas, and fill it with water, and then stir it to release the air bubbles, and then just let it sit for 48 hours. After 48 hours, then you drain off the water, you rinse them really well, and then you tilt it upside down. Could you grab me one of those jars? You tilt it upside down so that the water drips through, and Nate's just going to grab. This is from the Sprouting Company. This is Doug Evans. So these are the sprouting jars. Nate's going to come in close here to show you. So what you do is you fill this jar with the seeds, fill it with water, and let it sit after you stir it for 48 hours. And you can just put it right there and just let it sit for 2 whole days. You're good to go. Then after, you're going to pour out the water. You're going to rinse them really well a couple of times, just pouring off the water. And then you're going to sprout them for 24 hours. They don't need to get little tails. Some of them will, most of them won't, but that doesn't mean that they're not edible. So then you just tilt it over on the side like this, and this little dish will catch any water that comes off of this. You want to have that airflow so they can germinate. After that 24 hours, it's just, rinse and drain like 2 or 3 times in the next 24 hours. Then you do one final rinse, put them into little containers, and then freeze them. So whenever you need sprouted chickpeas, you just go into the freezer, grab what you need, and you're good to go. So, yeah, soak for 48 hours, rinse and drain for 24 hours, and then freeze. So it's super easy to do. But yeah, you can get all different kinds of sprouting jars, but the tilting is what's helpful to drain off the water. So yeah, woohoo.
Thank you. And then here's a question. Olga said she just bought the bundle and she can't wait to explore it. Thank you so much. And then there is a question about why do we have to download it by the end of June?
Ooh, that's a really good question. So most bundles in the past, we've been able to host for the year. And So two reasons why we're only doing June 30th. Number one is because the price has gone up astronomically. And we're talking about thousands of extra dollars a year to host the files. So we can't do that. It doesn't make sense. We probably wouldn't even do the bundle because it costs so much to do that. So we cannot do a year anymore. And the price increased last month and it jumped so high, we can't do it anymore. So we can't do a year, but we can do 2 months. And the second reason why we have June 30th as the cutoff date is because most people don't even download the bundle for a whole year, and then they forget about it and they don't even download it, and then all of a sudden they can't download it. So we are putting a tighter download limit because we want you to download the files. So please download them, get them into a safe backup. It takes 5 minutes. Nate did it live and he was talking through it, and it only took him 4 minutes to download each and every single one by hand. There is a download all button, but you want to check to make sure that they all download because sometimes they can overload the bandwidth of your internet. So make sure there's 32 files. Make sure you get all 32 files when you download them. Again, it takes 5 minutes to do this, and we really want you to download the bundle. So once you buy it, download it, and then you don't have to worry about the deadline ever again because the files will be yours on your device.
I mean, yeah, because if likelihood, if you haven't, we have so many people that wait a year, if you're not going to use it for a year, you're probably not going to use it, is my guess. So is that pertain to the bundle that we did together? Have they raised the price on that, or they can't?
Yeah, they did, but so we made a deal with the company to host because we didn't know. And otherwise we would have had a tighter deadline on the vegan health bundle. And next year, if we do the vegan health bundle, there will be a tighter deadline as well. Just because we just can't justify.
I mean, but did the price go up for the hosting until next
Yes.
year too?
Yes.
Well, that's no good. So tell them no.
I know. That's why we're doing the 2 months, because it makes it's along the lines of the budget to do it for 2 months. So we can definitely do 2 months. And most people are able to download it. Again, it only takes 5 minutes. So it shouldn't be that stressful. So just buy it, download it, and then you have them forever on your device. Yeah, in less than 5 minutes if you do the download all. Just make sure that you have all the files. Again, there's 32. Value is almost $1,400, and it's all raw. It's all raw vegan stuff, oil-free, and everything in the bundle is brand new as well. So that's a pretty cool thing. If you've purchased bundles in the past, you don't have anything that's in this bundle because it's all new stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's see, there's a question. Well, Larry says he's bundled out. I have so many recipes I've never looked at. I do like raw chefs, as they for sure do not use oil. So, Larry, you can buy the books individually. They're in the bundle if you need certain recipes, but it's a better value when you get them all together during the bundle. Amy says, where do you purchase your black salt?
Oh, okay. So on Amazon, that's where we get it. You just can search for namak, or black Indian salt is usually what it's called. Nate, I think you put the bag in here. Yeah. So we don't have the bag of the brand because Nate just put it in the jar. But there are a bunch of different brands that you can get online, or you could go to like an Indian store or Mediterranean style store. They usually have a bunch of different kinds of black salt because it's used a lot in their cuisine as well. So.
Nice.
Oh, and yeah, Nate mentioned too on the topic of the bundle, it's nice if you have different folders so you can put all your favorite stuff in one folder, all the stuff you want to look at later in one folder, all the stuff you already read in a different folder. That way you can kind of organize it a little bit. And also on that note, you don't always have to download everything in a bundle, because usually if you only wanted 3 or 4 things in there, you just download those 3 or 4 things. You don't have to download everything, but it is a nice deal to get all the stuff anyways.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. There's people saying they love their dehydrator. And Larry's saying that he moved from a Vitamix to a Dynapro vacuum blender. Is that what you have?
No, we actually stuck with the Vitamix. So our one Vitamix that Nate had for like a decade died finally, and it was not in warranty anymore. So what we did, we were contemplating getting the Dynapro, but because we have the BioChef vacuum blender attachment that works on the Legacy series Vitamixes, we chose to go with the same models. We just went on eBay and looked up the model that we have, and we just bought a new base because we didn't need the jug or anything. We have lots of those. And we have the vacuum blender that goes with it. But the DynaPro is a good vacuum blender. So yeah, that's why we chose to stay with the Vitamix, just because we already had all the other stuff for it.
Nice. Okay, question. How much space, Claudia asks, does it take to download?
So it's roughly about 400 megabytes. So it's less than half a gig. And again, you can download it onto your device and then put it onto a USB stick. So it's off your computer if you didn't want to have that storage on your computer. But yeah, it's not that much space. And again, you can just download the ones that you want or put them in Dropbox or Google Drive. That's free online storage to store some of your important files. So yeah.
Okay, great.
Hmm.
And Susan says, that's crazy. It takes me 5 minutes to download each one. How did you download all 32 in 5 minutes? It didn't take me very long. I'm not sure. Maybe her computer
It's
is slow.
probably your internet connection. If you have a really slow internet connection or you're living in a rural area, sometimes the internet can be really slow. So it completely depends on your download speeds. So yeah, I mean, here in Las Vegas, like I can click download all and it downloads in maybe like 2 minutes or less. So, and Nate did each one and it only took him 4 minutes. So again, it totally depends on your internet connection to determine how long it's going to take to download each one.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. If you
Yeah.
guys want to see Lissa and Nate, Pacha Vega is sending love to both of you. What am I, chapped liver? If you want to see Lissa and Nate in person, they'll be speaking at the Plant Powered Party, August 29th, 30th, and 31st. Tickets are still at a low price, but they are going to be going up. And Plant-Based Jeopardy is happening in my community at 2 o'clock, so there's still time to join. That'll be really, really fun. So what other books do you like in the raw bundle that people might want to know about?
Well, for one, I like the one that we wrote together.
Of
It's so
course.
good.
There's a
And
collab book. What is in the
yes.
collab book?
So the collaboration ebook, every single year, all the creators who are part of the bundle get together and we all contribute 1 or 2 recipes to the group collaboration ebook. And every year it's a different theme. And every year you can only buy it in the bundle. So if you buy the bundle, you get this collector's edition ebook. And this year it's called World Favorites. So there's a variety of different dishes from around the world. There's Dutch, Russian, German, what else is there? Scotch broth is the one that I made because I've got Scottish heritage. Nate did a fiesta salad. Chris Kendall, because he's from Canada, he did the poutine recipe as well. So Daniel McKinnon, he's got an all dressed spaghetti, and all dressed is kind of a Canadian flavor. It's kind of a mix of ketchup and sour cream and onion and salt and vinegar, barbecue. So it's a mix of the whole different flavors for that. I also really love from the books in the bundle, Raw Chef Yin has her Chinese takeout course that to me, like if I wasn't in the bundle, I would buy the bundle for her course alone because she is so talented with her recipes. And I loved Chinese takeout. That was one of my default things that I would go to before I went raw vegan was Chinese takeout. So when I heard she was doing that, I was like, this bundle is going to be amazing. And we tried the beef and broccoli, the cashew chicken, the egg foo young and the egg fried rice and the fortune cookies from her ebook. And all of them were stellar recipes. But also the love of my life has his ebook in the bundle. He's got the crackers. And we have all kinds of crackers in our life now because he's been making so many crackers. So you can learn how to make crackers as well. So we've got a bunch here. And inside his cracker, this smells amazing. Oh, it's the pizza one. So the pizza crackers, and they're really easy to make. And he also has spreads. So his ebook is called Crack Spread Repeat. So it's a great way to get some whole food snacks in there. They are seed-based crackers, but just if you want to have a couple, add them to your salad, crumple them up like croutons or something if you wanted some crunch. Those are options as well. So.
And what's his book called?
Crack Spread Repeat.
Wow, that must have been added a little bit later because I don't think I have that one?
You might have to go back to the download link and download it because,
Oh,
funny enough, Nate got his ebook in literally 3 hours before we went to bed the night before the bundle launched.
oh my God, I don't have it. So gosh,
Oh
thank
yeah,
you
you should
for that.
download it. Yeah, definitely. It's called Crack Spread Repeat. Nathan, it'll be under Nate Maris, I believe, or Nathan Maris in alphabetical order. So yeah, download that book because you can make those everything bagel or the pizza crackers that we made for you when we came to visit over New Year's, and you had those crackers at the potluck and you loved them. So now
Wait a
you can make them
second.
because you have all the
What
recipes.
what what day was that? I am not seeing it in the latest version. So what day was that? I need to get that book.
Ah,
Whoa.
I know you do. Well, I can hook you up with it. I can send you a new download link if you need to. But it should be under the ends because all of the files are listed alphabetically by author. So it'll be in the
Oh, he's
end.
in. Let's see. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
looking under uh let's see.
Nate or Nathan.
Yes,
There you
cook,
go.
spread, repeat. I'm downloading that right now. I'm so excited. I would have missed that if you hadn't told me about that.
Oh, well, I'm so glad that you're getting to download it because yeah, he put
Yay.
a lot into that ebook. I think there's
Ooh.
how many recipes? About 40? There's over 30 recipes in there, a mix of crackers and spreads. So you can have them and hummus. Oh, he has cashew cheese recipes, like a jalapeno one. There's 5 cheese spread recipes in there. The red pepper cheese is really nice. The hummuses. And again, oh, he has like a sprouted chickpea coconut, kind of like an egg salad. That's probably my favorite. I also really like the chorizo dip. But all of those recipes are available when you buy the bundle. You just get
Oh,
to
I'm
download
looking at it
everything.
now. Beautiful.
Yeah.
He has a tzatziki dip, which I
Yeah.
never can pronounce.
Tzatziki.
Caramelized onion dip,
Woo, that's a good
spinach
one.
dip, garlic red pepper, cranberry jalapeno. Whoa, garlic and herb cheese. Does that taste like the cheese that you guys buy for your wraps?
Yeah, it does. It's pretty similar. It might be more flavorful. But yeah, it's pretty similar to tree line.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cosmic blue cheese. Whoa, I would have missed this entirely if it hadn't been brought up.
Aw,
Okay.
I'm glad
Probiotic
that you.
capsules. So where do you get those to ferment the cheese?
So we have this is the one we use. This is from Country Life. It's a vegan kind of acidophilus. It's pretty inexpensive. We buy the big one because we use it more often, but you can buy a smaller jar, not very expensive, vegan capsules, and it's just acidophilus. So what you want is the acidophilus. And when you mix the acidophilus with miso in the cashew cheese, then you get more of a fluffier cheese. So yeah, this is the one we use, the Country Life brand.
Wow, thank you. Well,
Ah.
guys, if you want to get the bundle, grab it before it's gone because otherwise everything will be sold. And if you had to buy everything, by itself, what is that, like $1,500 or something?
Yeah, I think it's like 13.93 or something like that. Like a
Yeah.
lot of money. So and yeah, Nate's like it's raw food education. It's to inspire you to add more raw food. You don't have to be 100% raw to enjoy this bundle. You just have to have a love of raw food and you want to try different ways of preparing food, right? Like this is a very different way of preparing the savory pancakes, but they're so delicious. And we can't wait to dig into these. Look at that.
Right. So Susan is saying, but do you need to have a dehydrator to be raw?
No, you don't actually. You can definitely easily be raw without a dehydrator. The dehydrator, however, is very fun. So you can make a lot of different things with a dehydrator. So it's not essential, but it is fun to have. And in the sushi ebook, you don't need a dehydrator to make raw vegan sushi, but there are certain things in the ebook that require a dehydrator, like Chef AJ's
Yeah,
got her
like this licorice.
licorice.
Like I cannot
Yeah.
figure out, I don't see how this would come out not in a dehydrator, but you can get a cheap one on eBay or Facebook Marketplace. Get the licorice
Woo,
recipe.
that black
Yum.
licorice recipe is mind-blowingly
Yeah, it's
delicious.
pretty good. It's pretty.
Mhm.
Have any of the other contributors in the bundle made it yet? I'm curious.
Yes, actually, the Dutch people have because they all love the black licorice. Like Tenica, I think Wendy got to have some too. Yeah, some people have already made them and they're like, this is so good. All my
Oh, I'm so
coworkers.
glad because I'm not
Yeah.
really, I did go to raw culinary school, but that was like over 20 years ago. So that's cool. Let's see if there's any last questions. What is simmus? So Jennifer Diamond contributed simmus recipe to the
Oh, yes.
book. And so simmus is something that Jewish people tend to eat on the holidays, like, maybe Passover, and it's normally made with fruit and like potatoes and meat, but I'm sure her version is raw vegan if it's in the bundle.
Yes, yes. So she did contribute to the bundle as well. But that's a beauty of having the world favorites, is because everybody contributed something ethnic to it, so that we could try different recipes. And hers looks really good. I haven't made it yet, because there are like hundreds of recipes in the bundle. So we'll get to them eventually.
Nice. People are saying they love the pink lights under your cupboard. I have lights. Mine are not pink.
Aw, yeah, we love this. Actually, when we purchased our place, the lights were already installed, and there's a button in one of the cupboards that turns it on. And the guy who owned our place before, when we were looking at it, he was like, "Oh, I don't know what that's for." So, Nate can change the colors. He's gonna change the colors right now. Look, blue, green. But and then when we found out, I pushed the button. I was like, "What's this do?" And I pushed it, and it turned on the lights. So yeah, now we can change the color of the lights depending on our mood, or the vibe of the day. If we want to do blue or purple or yellow or red, it's fun.
Maybe when next time you guys visit me, Nate can figure out how to give me pink lights because we have
Oh
lights,
yeah,
just not.
he's going like this. He's like, yes, we will install pink lights for
Yeah,
you.
I mean, we have lights, but they're not pink. I would love to have pink or purple. That would be so amazing.
Oh, that would be really fun. Yeah, Nate would be all about that too.
That is so cool. All right. Well, thank you. Twice in 1 week. I mean, I'm
I'm
very
so
excited.
blessed. Thank
And
you.
is Dove gonna make an appearance today? The
Yes,
cat, the
let's
Tecate
get
cat,
Dove. Could you get Dove for us,
the
babe?
Tecate cat that now lives outdoor from Tecate, indoor in Vegas.
Yes,
What a fairy tale story.
oh, I know. And if anyone wants to watch the video, it's up on Chef AJ's and my YouTube channel, the story of Dove. Let's get Dove over here.
Yeah, and we still have a few spaces for Rancho if you want to go adopt your own cat. I'm sure you'll be able to find one there.
Look at Dove. Oh. She's like, I want some of that that's on the counter.
I love the little spot on her head.
I know, isn't that precious?
I think that means she was kissed by an angel. She literally is the prettiest cat I've ever seen.
I know, she's so precious. And she's like, oh, I'm out now, I get to play. But she has grown, actually. We've really definitely noticed that she's filled out a little bit. She's getting a little older. She's 8 months old now. We've had her for over a month. It's so crazy. And she's an avocado thief. Cats should not eat avocado, but she will steal avocado, and she will do anything to get up on the counter to steal your avocado. So we have to lock her in the bedroom if we make anything with avocado, because she goes nuts for it.
That is crazy. Well, thank you so much. It's so good to see you, and everybody want to see them in person, meet them in person, come to Vegas.
Yes, come to Vegas. We would love to see you. We're going to be doing a food demo. Not this, but we will do a food demo.
Sure would. And hopefully they'll let us have samples of everything you make. We'll talk to the hotel about that. That sounds pretty reasonable.
Great.
Maybe Nick can make one of his dip and crackers, actually.
Hey, that would be a great one to make for sure.
You betcha. All right. Well, take care, you guys.
All right. Thank you, Chef AJ. We love you.
Same here. And thanks all of you for watching, and come back next week for Dr. Ron Weiss, I believe. Yes. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.
Right.